to buy. Let's fast forward. You've put in an offer on that home. You're again very excited. The same scenario. The offer's been accepted. We have inspections. If you have FHA, you are in the process of having that FHA appraisal done. Who knows what that will turn up? Inspections done. Who knows what that will turn up if it's not pre-inspected? You also have the underwriting process on your end. Can you get this home? Who knows what may happen with that? Will there be a delay with all the paperwork and all the wheels that are in motion? Is there going to be a delay? There's a big possibility that it will. In the buying process, again, typically closing is 30 to 45 days. With all of it, there's different scenarios that it can be faster, but you have to be prepared that it may take longer. And in that event, I know a lot of people think once they have that date saying anticipated closing date, that is a definite. It is not. It is an estimated date. It is just a fictional date that is thrown out there to give a deadline so that all the wheels can be in motion with the same date in mind. However, there are so many uncertain things that are going on that if one thing messes up, it's a domino effect that delays the others. So if you are a buyer, the offer's been accepted. In the midst of the excitement, you do have to be prepared. What if that closing does not happen? Will you be okay? And I think the number one mistake for a lot of buyers to not make is jumping ahead and telling wherever you're at, if you're a renter, this is the biggest tip for you. If you're a renter, it may be a good idea to wait until you have closed to put in that 30-day notice with your current landlord. The reason for that is because with all these things that are in motion, you may not have a place to live. And if you've given your 30-day and closing is 30 to 45 days, you're already kind of pushing over that boundary from the very start. Not to mention if you're leaving your property that you rent from now, if you are leaving it, you're having to pay for moving. You're having to have it cleaned up after you leave if you're anticipating a security deposit back. So you need that time. And along with that, we're all very busy in our lives. Work, school, kids if you have, whatever other outside obligations you may be a part of, all of those are pulling at your time. So it may be a good idea to, one, wait until you have closed to give that 30-day. I hear it all the time. That means you're having to pay another month's rent. It's true. You do have to pay another month's rent. But with that extra month's rent, you're giving yourself time, which is very important to reduce the level of stress. Give yourself that 30-day time frame that you can gather whatever you're needing, be completely packed, get things cleaned up, get things transferred, the utilities turned over, all of these things that you'll have to be so very busy doing in the process. In the meantime, you may be paying an extra 30 days, but you're giving yourself 30 days to be ready to move. But aside from that, in most situations, you're not having to pay mortgage the very next month. Typically, there is a certain time frame that it takes for you to actually be the person that's responsible for that mortgage. From my understanding, it typically is at least 1 month, possibly more. So again, a lender will give you that information as to when your expected first payment would be due in the new home. Ideally, it is 1 month that you're not having to pay. Give yourself that amount of time to be able to move into that new home stress-free. Instead of having to rush, why not try to eliminate the stress? Give the notice after you have the new keys, and then you can take your time moving into that new property and enjoy the process. So I hope these tips helped. Again, the first tip was for sellers in regard to having a plan B if your home does not sell. The second is for buyers, again, having a plan in case that home does, or you're not able to get into that home when you expected. And stay tuned, more tips to come, and keep in touch.